equal increased risk. If you don't know, I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. Today, I'm going to be talking about what you need to do to stay safe. The risk of fatal crashes involving 16-year-old drivers increases 40% when one passenger is in the car. If two passengers are in the car, it increases to 86%. If three, it's 182. What does this mean? You need to reduce the number of passengers that are in your vehicle when you're a young driver. A young driver is considered someone with less than 10 years of experience. Approximately 1/3 of all fatal car crashes involve young, novel, rookie drivers. What does this mean? You need to have supervision. Not someone to tell you what to do, but someone to guide you, to give you ample support, to help you navigate safely on the roads, because we all need support. SUPPORT. When you have support, you can reach all goals. You can become a safe driver. You have someone to say, you're going a little too fast, can you slow down? Or you need to check your blind spot before you make a lane change. How do you reduce distraction while driving with your peers? You need to tell your friends, you need to stop talking. Or better yet, if they don't listen, put them out. Because the more people in the car, the more distractions you're going to have. Being a passenger in a young driver vehicle is more dangerous than being a driver. How do you reduce the risk? You need to put on your seatbelt. You need to simmer down and let the driver focus on driving, and you focus on being a passenger. What discussions will you have with your parent? If all of you were my sons and daughters, I would say, listen, I need you to be safe, stay focused on the road, and call me once you arrive, or send me a text. And don't be on the phone. These are some of the things I would tell you to help you become a safe driver. What type of vehicles are young drivers driving? This is very interesting, so I need you to listen to this. In fatal car crashes involving young drivers, 50%, 50, were driving vehicles that are 10 years old or older. So what does this mean? We're driving 2013s, 2012s, 2017s, 2005. There's nothing wrong with that. But be mindful, those newer vehicles don't have the new lane departure, crash assistance devices to help you in the event of a major off-road situation. Unfortunately, less than half of young drivers are driving vehicles that are not recommended. You're driving small vehicles. You want to drive a mid to full-size vehicle with metal around you to protect you in case of a collision. Teenage drivers, owners, are more likely to drive more miles, take more risk, receive more traffic citations, and be involved in more crashes. What does this mean? Mom and dad, older brother and sister, you really don't want to give your niece or nephew their own car, because they're going to drive very erratic, they're going to drive very crazy. We all drive. I did some research. On the average, it's anywhere from 55 to about 87 miles per day. The average teen driver will drive, and this is in the summertime. Safe vehicle information. The Insurance Institute of Highway Safety, they recommend larger size vehicles that offer more protection, more modern safety equipment such as ABS, anti-lock brake system, airbags. What types of crashes are young people involved in? This is very interesting. 35% of young driver crashes are single vehicle crashes. They're running into a car, running into a pole, running off the road. This means we need to teach our drivers how to have better defensive driving skills, not to panic. The natural thing to do when you start skidding is to overcorrect the wheel. You start losing control of your vehicle. So we want to teach you young drivers off-road recovery skills. And if your front and your rear tire go off the road, not to panic, to drive that shoulder to regain control, and then gradually steer the wheel so you can get back on the pavement. 65% of young driver fatal car crashes involve 2 or more vehicles. You might be riding with your friend. You might see some other guys or ladies and they start driving fast, you start driving fast. Why are young drivers involved in very few rear-end collisions? I appreciate you too. Thank you so much. I really enjoy this. And if you enjoy this, follow, subscribe, and I do have a podcast too, Driving with Myles. You will definitely like that. So thank you so much. 22% of young driver fatal car crashes are head-on collisions. Head-on collisions are the most dangerous. As an instructor, the one crash you need to avoid is a head-on collision. Try to have a side swipe. Try to reduce your speed. If you have to go off the road, aim for something soft, a bush, sand, dirt, never a tree, never a rock. 4% of young driver fatal car crashes are rear end. They're going too fast, they're tailgating, they're driving aggressive. Slow down. I tell you, have good speed, S-P-E-E-D, have good space, S-P-A-C-E, and smile, S-M-I-L-E. If you have those, you'll have an adequate space cushion to allow you to maneuver and stay safe in case we have a sudden traffic backup, in case there's an accident on the road. %83 of young driver fatal car crashes occur on fair weather conditions. No snow, no rain, no sleet, no fog. This means you need to reduce your speed. 71% of young driver fatal car crashes happen on dry roads. People are probably driving too fast. They're distracted. They're on the phone. They're not paying attention. Why are the majority of young driver fatal car crashes on dry surface roads during fair weather conditions? We are creatures of habit. If it's a beautiful day, you're going to have your window down, you're going to be driving faster. You need to drive slower. You need to take your time. You have to take your time. 10% of young driver fatal car crashes happen in the rain, and that's normal. You're going too fast. You're hydroplaning. If this is the base of the road, your tire is rolling on the surface. Hydro means water. There's water on the road. Plane means to fly or lift. The tire is actually lifting off the road. And if you're like most people who are not real good on maintenance, your tires are going to be worn down. They're going to be a little bit underinflated. Every time you get gas, or at least once a month, you need to check your tire pressure, preferably in the morning with a gauge. I put air pressure in the vehicle. The car steers so much smoother. It glides. Instead of kind of feeling mushy on the road, it's more responsive, and you get better fuel economy. And when you have a tire that is low on pressure, it builds heat, H-E-A-T, in the tire, and as a result, you could increase your chances of having a blowout. And that's very scary and very dangerous. 6% of young driver fatal car crashes happen in the snow. I'm in a region where they have snow. Many of you are not. You have to be prepared. You need to leave earlier. You need to allow your car to warm up. You need to make sure your tires are in good condition. You have jumper cables in the back or boost cables. You need to make sure your battery in your car is in good working condition. Usually after about 5 to 7 years, you might need a new battery. It varies from vehicle to vehicle. How often do you drive? Really cold weather is very hard on batteries. Really warm weather is also very hard on batteries. So you have to stay on top of your maintenance of your battery, your tires, your belts, your hoses. 1% of young driver fatal car crashes happen in fog. Fog is an atmospheric condition. Many of us want to turn on our high beams. That is wrong. The fog particles, water particles, will reflect back into your eyes, and then you won't be able to see. So you need to drive at a speed that is safe and reasonable for the conditions on the road. Many states have something called the basic speed law. So you need to drive safely, smoothly, increase your following distance. Arrive alive, A-L-I-V-E. 17% of young driver fatal car crashes happen on wet roads. If the road is wet, it increases your stopping distance. It takes you longer to slow down. If you're not aware of your environment, you're going to drive at a faster rate. 4% of young driver fatal car crashes occur on icy roads. We've had black ice a couple of weeks ago. It was 24 degrees. A lot of frost on the windows. At the bottom of the street, when I was driving to pick up a client, there was black ice. It looked very shiny. Black ice is ice that you can't see. It's invisible. So you want to assume at the corners, slow down. Hi. What other factors contribute to young driver fatal car crashes? Young drivers are involved in fatal car crashes. Male drivers are 63% male drivers. Males tend to drive faster, more aggressive. Women, 37%. So men are more aggressive. They drive faster. Women, less aggressive. They don't drive as fast. What does this mean for us? We need to save our next generation of young male drivers. There needs to be more teaching in place to educate them. 13% of all young driver fatal car crashes occur when drivers are not wearing seatbelts. The first thing I need you to do is get in that car and put on your seatbelt. Lock your door. Put the seatbelt across your chest area, across your waist, and click it. That seatbelt will keep you from being ejected or thrown out of the car. It's extremely important that you understand that narrative. Put on your seatbelt. It will keep you from being thrown out of the car and dying. Next, 8% of all drivers in young fatal car crashes have been drinking alcohol, as compared to 19% of other drivers. We're in a society where alcohol is viewed as something fun, relaxing. You can hang out with your friends and drink, but now you have to drive home. And many states have very difficult and tough alcohol laws. And once you sign your license, you have something called implied consent. You give your consent to be tested, whether this is a breath test where you blow into a breathalyzer, a blood test where they actually draw or take your blood. You have to be a medical professional. And then urine. So what does this mean? You should not drive while under the influence at any time, any place. Across the United States, it is 0.08. Don't drive under the influence. Typically, the drunk driver kills mom, dad, sister, brother. Alcohol relaxes the muscles in your eye, so you can't focus. And if you can't focus, you can't see. And if you can't see, you're going to stop sooner or later. You're going to have trouble keeping the car squared in your lane. 13% of young drivers aren't wearing their seat belts. That needs to be emphasized in class. I need to discuss that more. We need to talk about examples. Distractions cause young drivers to become concentrated on other things. Driving is a multitask operation. You've got to check your speed. You've got to check your mirror to the left, your mirror to the right. You've got to check your side mirrors. You have to always be analyzing the driving environment. I've talked about this: downtown drives, morning drives, afternoon drives, night drives. Know the environment that you're driving in. Cell phone use impairs the driver's ability to handle ever-changing environmental conditions, similar to a driver under the influence of .08. So when you're on the phone, it's similar to being under the influence. You can't focus. You're listening to the call. Your brain, you're listening through your ear. Your ear is sending a message to your eardrum. Your eardrum is sending that message to your brain. Young drivers reading text is called texting. It impairs you. There's also why young drivers is called driving while intoxicated. So you have to reduce your speed. If you have to get on the phone, you need to pull over to the side of the road. Drivers who use cell phones while driving are 4 times more likely to be involved in a crash than drivers who do not. So every time you're on the phone, you're going to increase your chances of having an accident. Research indicates that young drivers' brains may not be developed until 25. So I talked about 10 years. Many of you were laughing at me. It takes 10 years to fully develop. If you're 15, that's 25. If you're 16, that's 26. If you're 17, that's 27. People are taking driver's education much later, post-COVID. Prior to this, I had a lot of 14.9s, 15.1s. Today, I have 16, 16.3, 16.5, 16.7, 16.9, 17.1, 17.2. It's a current trend because people are waiting longer to take driver's ed, and there's a cost that is associated with it. Your brain power decreases by 40% when you are talking to someone. We are social creatures. If you were here with me, we will be talking, driving, beautiful day. You have to really be aware, and you have to take ownership in your driving. If this brought you value, give it a like. Give it a thumbs up. Share it. I'm a state certified and driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. I want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.